Ahead of the U.S. election in November, social media has been on high alert for a technology that threatens to disrupt fair voting. AI and deepfakes are getting more and more sophisticated, but researchers are working on new ways in an effort to detect them. Now, to talk more about these increasingly real threats, we're joined by Ian Kahn. He is a theoretical futurist and author of The Quick Guide to Prompt Engineering. Ian, welcome back. A fascinating story that Mark just had there, and I think I'm going to sign up for that website that he was talking about, that journalists can find out if something is indeed a deep fake, because the question is, how prevalent do you think this problem is going to be here in the United States as we get closer to November, and there are a record number of elections all across the world this year?
Hey, Sean, thanks for having me. The problem is as complex as AI itself. Today, AI technology is moving really fast. It's able to create fake imagery, fake videos, and really, the average user out there cannot tell between the real and the fake. That's the reality. I've come across many videos on social media that look very real, and it's hard to tell them apart. So a lot of responsibility falls on social media companies, social media providers.
Okay, what can these social media providers do? We just heard watermarks don't work, and if something does sound suspicious, we dig in, we spend all this time, and it turns out to be true, even though it seems freakishly odd, we run into that scenario as well.
Well, a lot of scrutiny and a lot of efforts to make sure that content creators are not fake, are not bots. They have been verified creators, they have the credentials. For example, you can upload a driver's license to ensure that it's the person who's uploading the content, and to have many checks and balances in place to ensure the validity and accuracy of that information. So that's just one thing. In the past elections, there have been cases where fake news was spread. Elections allegedly were biased against a party or the other worldwide. This happens everywhere. But I think a lot of scrutiny falls on social media providers who host this content and where all these deepfake content are uploaded.
You know, I think it's frustrating for a lot of people who are going to want to go out and look at ads and look at whatever they're receiving in their inbox. And as you mentioned, there's not a lot the average voter can do.
So, you know, when you have a party that you love and you have a candidate that you're supporting, I believe the best source of information is to go on the website of that candidate to ensure the content is from that candidate. Everything else, personally, is suspect. We cannot control who is posting what. And you just mentioned the Taylor Swift video, and there's millions of other videos that are faked every single day. So it's hard. There's no easy solution to this.
You know, there's no easy way to say it, but in the U.S., these campaign managers have frequently played in dirty water. So as it gets more and more technical, more and more difficult to distinguish something true from a lie, our existing laws even coming close to keeping up with this evolving technology. We hear all the time from AI companies, we want to move forward very carefully. We want to move within regulations. But at the end of the day, these people are trying to get any kind of edge they can.
Yeah, there are no regulations. It's a very loosely tied set of regulations and rules that are in place right now. There's no penalty, there's no legal implication for anybody to upload fake content and to spread information that's false. But all that is really the judiciary, the laws of the land. And in America, those need to be stronger, tighter, in order to curb all this era of AI-generated content. Previous elections have seen meddling from foreign countries, allegedly, and who knows who's uploading what from which country across the world for which election across the world. And as you said, a lot of elections this year.
Yeah, exactly. Let's pick up on that, because people are watching this newscast all over the world, and you have elections virtually everywhere. So what kind of international coordination, if any, is being done to guard against this kind of cybercrime?
So in terms of cybercrime, independent companies are doing the work. Cybersecurity companies are doing the work that they need to do. There's many companies that are amping up their technology to be able to detect deepfakes much more faster. McAfee is a company that I've worked with before. They have incredible technology. There's other software companies and cybersecurity companies who are at the top of this. But the game is changing every single day because the bad guys are changing, AI technology is changing, and as you said, OpenAI has better tools every single day. So the tools are becoming much more easier to use,
So if we
much more refined.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. If we have some big egregious kind of thing that breaks, firstly, do you think that is going to happen before November here in the U.S.? And secondly, what kind of effect is it going to have on perhaps efforts to legislate AI moving forward?
Well, let's hope nothing bad happens, but there definitely needs to be some kind of a sanity check where Congress is pulling together social media companies and telling them that none of this should be tolerated and they should create better stringent controls. This should happen between Congress. Congressional hearings should take place between CEOs of social media companies and Congress, specifically as the election comes forward. And if something happens, then they should be made responsible for anything that happens. That's the only way I think this will work. Otherwise, there are no controls that can control this, for the lack of better word.
You know, if Congress is our best hope, I'm a little concerned. But Ian Khan, thank you so much for your insight. I certainly do appreciate that.